Of course, long battery life isn't the only thing you care about. You don't want a phone that is thoroughly mediocre but runs for days. Instead, you want something that performs well, looks great, takes excellent pictures, and also has enough juice to at least last an entire day away from a charger. With that in mind, these are our picks for the best smartphones with long battery life on the market today. So, without any further ado, let's get started with the video. And, at any time, you can always check the product link in the description.
I think the girls with their nails done now.
Number 1. Samsung Galaxy S21 Ultra. Looking for the comfort of buying from a major global brand, but still want a phone with great battery life? Take a look at the Samsung Galaxy S21 Ultra, part of Samsung's flagship Galaxy S range. The Samsung Galaxy S21 Ultra is a high-end, premium device, and one of the best long battery life phones on the market. Its 5000 mAh battery is paired with a range of intelligent management features to optimize power usage throughout the day. You can expect around 16 hours of screen-on time doing basic activities like web browsing. That's a lot and makes this a 2-day phone for most people. You'll likely get a full 2 days out of a single charge unless you're really pushing it hard. When you do finally manage to drain the battery, you won't need to wait long for it to charge up. Expect as much as 50% charge in half an hour. The S21 Ultra looks fantastic, with a big, bright, and rich 6.8 screen. The 3200x1440 display has an adaptive refresh rate that ramps up to 120 Hz to make fast action look as good as possible, and back down to 60 Hz or lower to save battery the rest of the time. Inside sits Snapdragon's fastest 888 chipset, 12 to 16 GB of RAM, and 128 to 512 GB of storage. Unlike earlier versions, though, there's no microSD slots if you manage to fill that up. 5G connectivity is built in, although just like LTE when it first came out, don't necessarily expect it to work outside the region you bought your phone in. A major selling point of the device is its camera, or more accurately, all 4 of the cameras. The S21 Ultra has some of the longest, clearest zoom of any phone ever released, with 10x optical zoom and a ridiculous 100x digital space zoom. It shoots high-quality images and extremely impressive video, with recording in up to 8K. There's no headphone jack, but the payoff for that is IP68 water and dust resistance. With wireless earbuds and headphones commonplace these days, having a phone that can handle being in 5 feet of water for half an hour is a trade-off that people are increasingly happy to make. Overall, this is a well-rounded everyday smartphone with exceptional battery life and a great camera. It's available in 6 different colors, and there's a huge range of third-party cases and accessories available. The only real downsides are its price and its size, especially once you add a protective case. Number 2. Apple iPhone 13 Pro Max. The latest iPhones are here, and they pack a heck of a punch in terms of battery life. The iPhone 13 Pro Max is the most impressive, lasting up to 28 hours of continuous use. Yes, you heard that correctly. This is, by a huge measure, the best battery life ever offered in an iPhone. The 13 Pro Max's 4,352 mAh battery is nearly 20% larger than the one in the 12 Pro Max, and it shows in real-world performance. When it does go flat, half an hour on a 20W plus wall charger will get it back up to 50%. MagSafe and Qi wireless charging is also available. Other highlights of this model include up to a terabyte of storage capacity, a new cinematic mode that shifts focus automatically in videos, and an improved camera system that takes even better photos than the already highly impressive iPhone 12 Pro range. The Pro Max is powered by Apple's new A15 chip, which offers lightning-fast performance even by flagship smartphone standards. The 120 Hz ProMotion screen refresh rate is a welcome upgrade from the previous model, visibly improving everything from scrolling and swiping to fast-action gaming. Durability has had an upgrade as well, with a new type of screen glass dubbed Ceramic Shield that offers 4x more drop resistance than earlier models. There's also IP68 dust and water resistance, with the phone is certified to handle submersion in up to 19 feet of water for half an hour. As you'd expect from Apple's latest flagship, the downside is cost. This phone is anything but cheap. Despite the high price, it also doesn't come with any accessories other than a USB-C to Lightning cable for charging. Still, if you're looking for the iPhone with the longest battery life, the 13 Pro Max is the one to go for. That said, while the Pro Max has the best battery life of the current models, other versions of the iPhone 13 still last an impressively long time between charges if your budget doesn't stretch quite that far. Number 3. OnePlus 8. We often tend to think of smartphones in two categories, flagship and budget. In reality, mid-range phones offer the best value for most people, bringing a useful mix of specs and features without costing four figures to buy. Right now, the OnePlus 8 5G is one of the highest spec phones you'll find in this price range. It's last year's model, replaced by the OnePlus 9, so the price has been slashed. The OP8 now costs barely half what it did last year, but while it's still available, you get one heck of a phone for the money. The 4,300 mAh battery in the OnePlus 8 can power you through a day or two of regular use with ease, and you'll get up to 12 hours of screen-on time for activities like web browsing. Given the large, bright 6.690 Hz display, this is an impressive performance, particularly for the price. When the phone does eventually go flat, it won't be for long. OnePlus has long had some of the fastest charging in the business, and while a few rivals are now starting to catch up, the company's 30W Warp charger is still extremely quick. Expect to go from 0 to 50% in just 22 minutes. There's no wireless charging. As usual with OnePlus's premium phones, the internals is impressive and the phone performs extremely well. You'll get a fast Snapdragon 865 processor, 8 or 12 GB of RAM, and 128 or 256 GB of storage. We'd have liked to see a microSD slot, but even so, these specs are more than enough for most phone users. Also as usual for OnePlus, though, while the model's 48MP camera seems impressive, the resulting image quality is only average, especially in low light. Likewise, the phone's built-in speakers don't sound great, and there's no official water resistance. If you can live with the camera and speaker limitations, though, and the lack of an official water resistance rating isn't a deal breaker, this is a fantastic phone with great battery life for not a lot of money. Number 4. Motorola Moto G Power. When it comes to features, the Motorola Moto G stylus is our top pick in the budget smartphone category, but in terms of battery life, it's the even cheaper Moto G Power that takes the crown. Known as the G Power outside the United States, its 5,000 mAh battery is as large as you'll find in any mainstream smartphone in 2022. You should get at least 2 full days of use out of this device, sometimes more. That's better than anything else worth owning at this price. The phone's Snapdragon 665 chipset is a solid mid-range performer. Paired with the phone's 4GB of RAM and 64GB of storage, you've got an impressive, inexpensive device that's well suited to the demands of travel. There's a headphone jack and a microSD slot that lets you add up to 512GB of additional storage. Reasonably fast USB-C charging is also available via the included 10W charger, and there's a fingerprint scanner on the back of the phone. There's no official water resistance rating, though, although a special coating does at least provide some protection against rain and splashes. The phone is also a bit on the heavy and chunky side, although the design is noticeably improved from previous models. The camera is also a big improvement over earlier versions of the Power, producing shots you'll be happy with most of the time in good lighting conditions. Low-light photos aren't great, though, not helped by the lack of a dedicated night mode. Overall, this is a surprisingly good phone for the money, even if you weren't getting 2+ days to use out of each charge. Add that to the mix, and you've got our top budget phone with long battery life in 2022. Number 5. Samsung Galaxy S20 FE. The Samsung Galaxy S20 FE is a well-balanced smartphone that combines impressive performance with a moderate price. It's one of the best value devices from a major brand, particularly so if you're after a phone with good battery life. With its 4,500 mAh battery, the Galaxy S20 FE can power through around 12 hours of continual basic use like web browsing. It's also one of the longest lasting phones when it comes to video streaming, able to keep going for up to 9 houses. For most users, this will be a 2-day phone. Specifications are in line with many current mid to high-end smartphones. You'll get a speedy Snapdragon 865 chipset, 6GB of RAM, and 128GB of storage. A microSD slot lets you add up to 1TB more. As the name suggests, 5G connectivity is also included if that's important to you. There's IP68 dust and water resistance, a headphone jack, and a big 6.5 display. This is a major selling point of the device, with its high brightness, impressive color accuracy, and 120Hz refresh rate. The camera is always one of the best parts of a Galaxy S phone, and that's true here as well. Both the main rear camera and the wide-angle sensor are 12MP, and there's also an 8MP telephoto with a 3x optical zoom/30x digital zoom. Expect great food, landscape, macro, and low-light shots from the S20 FE. Fast charging is available, especially if you use a 25-watt charger rather than the 15W version that comes in the box. Samsung sells one, but any other USB-C PD charger should do the job as well. Wireless charging is also built in, and you can even wirelessly charge other Qi devices by putting them on the back of the S20 FE.